Hello children, this is Indradhi here. Are you all ready for the bedtime story? And if you all are ready, just sit comfortable in one place and the end. Alright, let's see what I'm gonna read next about Sweet Dreams at Last from Disney Princess The Little Mermaid. Alright, so be ready to listen to this story back with The Little Mermaid. Alright. Alright, I'm back with the Little Mermaid story, and looks like Princess Ariel is having trouble in sleeping. Let's see what's going on with her. Let's begin the story. It was a bright sunny morning, and everyone in the royal castle was wide awake and ready to begin a brand new day. Everyone, that is, except Princess Ariel. Ever since she had become a human, Ariel had had trouble falling asleep at night. And the night before had been no different. Yawning, Ariel made her way to the balcony for breakfast. But as soon as she sat down, her sleepy eyes began to close, and plop, her head drooped into her oatmeal bowl. Ariel jolted awake. Not again, she groaned. During the day, an exhausted Ariel had been falling asleep in the most unusual places, in the royal garden, in a rowboat, even on the beach. But at night, Ariel tossed and turned. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't fall asleep in her own bed. Everyone had tried to help. Grimsby fluffed her pillows until they were as light and puffy as clouds. There, he declared, lay your head down on this, Your Highness, and see if you don't fall right to sleep. Ariel climbed into the cozy bed but still didn't sleep. Eric suggested reading before bed, since it always helped him sleep. So Ariel collected stacks and stacks of books from the palace library and carried them up to her bedroom. By the next morning, she had learned all about gardening, knitting, and building complicated sandcastles. But she still hadn't slept a wink. Have you tried counting dolphins? Flounder asked Ariel the next day when she went to visit him. No, but I'll try that tonight, Ariel replied. Later, she counted an ocean's worth of dolphins. But instead of sleeping, Ariel just felt homesick. I wish there was some way we could help Ariel sleep better, Prince Eric said to himself the next morning at breakfast. Sebastian shook his head sadly. She never had trouble falling asleep back in Atlantica, he thought. Perhaps if her new bedroom were more like her old one, Ariel's problem would be solved. That gave Sebastian an idea. Suddenly, he knew just what to do. That afternoon, Prince Eric suggested that he and Ariel go out on his boat for a long, relaxing sail. Oh, that sounds wonderful, Ariel agreed. The royal schooner was readied and the anchor was raised. Before they had even cast off, Ariel began to yawn. Where should we sail, my dear? Eric asked. Ariel? But when Eric turned to her, he saw that Ariel had already fallen asleep on some coils of rigging rope. By the time Ariel and Eric returned to the castle, the sun was beginning to set, and Ariel was well rested from her long afternoon nap. As they walked up the palace steps, Ariel spotted Sebastian with a man carrying a large trunk. Hello, Sebastian, Ariel called to her crustacean friend. Won't you have dinner with us tonight? "Er, I'm afraid I can't, Your Highness," Sebastian said. I have some mm, I have some very important work to do this evening before it's time to go to sleep. At last, the sky filled with twinkling stars, and it was time to say good night. Ariel climbed the stairs and reached her bedroom just as Sebastian was tiptoeing out. He bowed and eagerly held open the door for the princess. Surprise! Shouted Sebastian. Oh, my things! Cried Ariel. How did they get here? I thought having them nearby might help you sleep better, Your Highness, Sebastian said with a smile. Everywhere Ariel looked, she saw something from her old undersea room. A bouquet of deep sea blossoms, her mother of pearl comb, her treasured music box. Oh, thank you, Ariel cried happily. Ariel said good night to Sebastian and snuggled into bed. Sebastian waited for an hour, then peeked into Ariel's room to make sure she was asleep. But when he opened the door, Sebastian found Ariel sitting up in the bed, wide awake. She still couldn't fall asleep. I guess missing my things wasn't the problem after all, Ariel said with a sigh. Being a human is harder than I thought. There's one more thing we can try, Sebastian said. Climbing up the music box, he opened the lid and waited for it to play a slow, sweet tune. But nothing happened. Sebastian looked inside. Uh-huh, he said, spotting the problem, a big lumpy pink shell. He moved to toss it aside, but Ariel quickly took it from his claws. Ariel smiled as she held the shell up to her ear and heard the ocean waves. The sea, she sighed. Then Ariel yawned. You know, I'm feeling really sleepy. Maybe I'll just. She snuggled beneath the covers, this time with the shell pressed gently against her ear. Before Sebastian could even leave the room, Ariel was fast asleep. Sebastian tiptoed out of her bedroom. Good night, princess, he whispered. And sweet dreams to you at last. The end. Finally, she is asleep. Now you all can go to sleep. And I will be back with the new story. And you all sleep well, eat healthy breakfast. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.